Yo, what's up with my easy family? I am back with another one. It is a new day. I am about to go do a cruise ship pickup, take them around San Francisco, and then take them to the airport. So I'm going to try to bring y'all along with me as I go and do this trip, y'all. All praises to the Most High, hallelujah, for a new day, y'all. I hope y'all are blessed on this beautiful day. Yet it is gloomy out. It is still a beautiful day. Hey, we woke up this morning, so y'all gotta give him praise. Alright, y'all. I will see y'all in a little bit, probably most likely once I get up to the cruise ship. And I'll try to do some vlogging over there if I can. If I can't, hey. But I catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
I just walk in this life, represent up on this wake up in life. I give him my life, he the king of this pride. He taking me up, yeah, I feel like a lie. Give me a soul, you might have some pride. All bringing it to the high. I'm just serving, I'm keeping it humble. Being low key like doors. They wrestling the lion, I'm straight out the jungle. Now blueprint is they come on the board. When I say trouble, I ain't talking no car. I'm sick in the kingdom, who talking about the blood? She light on my path, I'm talking with walk. Crap full of thorns, but I'm still on the law. Yeah, I'm fresh out the water. You might think I came out the shower. Grab a lump all out the towel. Wish I ain't coming it out. I ain't no prince of the power. I ain't I'm talking to high. I roll with the prince of the bitch. Spirit on flipping, I'm fresh off the bitch. Gentle, dead. I've been working ever since. This is running, working since. I've been in the sin. Look at the top of the chain. I'm here for the word like credit. So if they're feeling like a fire with the credit. It's your big down for the game. You can let me know if I'm tripping. Instead of big coming back on me with the sun, and you can see it blowing in this visit. You a baby, if I done send to you, my conversation might feel like a living. Whatever he say, yeah, I gotta prove no proof like a Greek and talk of the truth. He enlighten me and he'll enlighten you. I'm working with the fire, cause I know I'm a fool. Trying to make it true, but you make this true. Clouds and I'm here, cause I'm working with the poet out here. And you ain't got a shot like Addy, to a sword with the hands that I had it. But that's the beauty of the balance. So you can only keep it at the wish on me, man. Let's bring at the fact that I'll be most of my talent. So when the kid come, I can live a minute balance. And I don't do this for the money. I live my life shine when I see it back in money. Credit spirit hidden when I see it getting money. Both sides with it, see the little get honey. French stuff, blow the trumpet, real loud. We don't celebrate holidays, but we give praise to the Most High. Taking heed to Leviticus, say the spirit be vigilant. Meditate day and night. Change my life and start making sense. I'm shining my light, keep the commandments so lit. Keep that candle lit, don't put it under the bed. Keep it on that lampstand so the whole house go shine. Flee from Babylon, take heed to the Most High. You gotta keep them laws and commandments. You either repent or you go perish. I'm trying to receive the kingdom of heaven. Remain lit in the spirit.
I was cooking in the garden on my feet, stuck in the rut, lost in the tree. I was just
lost, I'm calling it quits. The Christ gave me that spark, now I'm lit. I'm here for the lost and the sick. Righteous life I represent. Body in Christ as you click. Unity is the movement. The timing is now. The present to give heaven sent. Fell in love with Christ Jesus. They lit a fire beneath me. Shining bright before the heat. Daily bread is what I need. Breaking bread without my brethren. Now I'm blessed to be a blessing. When I'm battling in the wrestling, I get extra trust and no exaggerate. I was driving both sides of the fence. I was tweaking every single weekend. Till I finally decided to repeat. Now I'm licking like I'm a vegan. The kingdom home, and I'm speaking. Settle down, keeping so good. Like I hit the lottery, rich. Don't partake in pagan ideologies. No graven image, no idolatry. Me, I serve the Lord with no apologies. Please don't take this light up, think this comedy. Woe unto the man that make a mockery. Wonder why my people still in poverty. They reject the bread of life and grab the bottom feed. Throwing away and knowing the fate. Why do you think on the boat that we came? Refusing the word of Moses relayed. The prophets and fathers beloved the same. Looking today and I saw much ashamed. The plans were ready, they over the cane. I see the shrimp in the boat and the clay. The love of the Father don't flow in the veins. Please if it's all like you throw in a cave. The end of time is coming near.
So now I am pulling into the pier. Y'all about to see this cruise ship. Yo, look how big this boat is. Ruby Princess. This boat is huge. It's pretty much taking up a block or two. But yeah, I'm just about to pull in and wait for everyone to load.
But the architect said no, so that's just urban legend. And we do have a nice view down there to the left of our financial district, the city skyline. Later on today, we're actually going to be heading down there before we go to the airport. So we'll get a good up-close view of a lot of those buildings. So our plan for the day, we're going to drive through a little bit of San Francisco, including the famous Fisherman's Wharf area, but make our way to the Golden Gate Bridge. We're actually going to drive across that world-famous bridge. We'll stop at the other end so you can have a nice view from there. Then we're going to go down to this really pretty little town called Sausalito on the other side of the bridge. Wonderful little waterfront town, lots of nice little shops and some cafes and such. Really pretty views. Then we'll drive back across the Golden Gate Bridge, make our way through the city to a place that's just down the street about a mile from here called the Ferry Building. Absolutely fantastic gourmet food hall. So a wonderful place to look at Northern California's fantastic produce, all sorts of prepared foods, organic cheeses and chocolates and olive oil, all the best things. And then from there we'll make our way to the airport. Now I know your flights are all in the 4:30, 5:30 range. Our schedule though does get us to the airport at about 1 p.m., 1:30. So you are still going to have some time to go down to the airport, I'm afraid. At least we'll get to fill your boarding up. These buildings we see on the right as we drive along here, it's the old port of San Francisco. 100 years ago, we were one of the busiest seaports in the United States. We were particularly big on importing sugar and coffee beans. But there's just no room here in downtown San Francisco for modern container shipping. So today that's all on the other side of San Francisco Bay, the city of Oakland. But today these piers have been put to other uses, or some of them are just abandoned for now, waiting for new uses. Let me point out, you have air vents above your heads that you can open and close. Yes. Actually, it was good having it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can have some air blowing on you. Just a moment on the right, I'm going to have you look to the right, a World War II Liberty ship. The ship we're going to see got to the beaches of Normandy just 2 weeks after D-Day. So take a look here on the right. Let's get a view. San Francisco Bay, we built about 800 Liberty ships during the war. We had to build them fast because the enemy was sinking them fast. So look on the right, there it is. We were the largest shipbuilding center in the world during the war. Right now we're coming into the Fisherman's Wharf area. It's actually a whole neighborhood about 8 blocks long, so we'll take a drive through it. It's very touristy, but lots of places to buy t-shirts and things like that. But there's some authentic things here too. San Francisco is built at the northern end of a peninsula, surrounded by water on 3 sides. San Francisco Bay and the Pacific Ocean, of course. So right now we're at the very northern tip of the peninsula. Coming up on the right is Pier 39, shops and restaurants, but at the end of the pier there's a colony of California sea lions. Most people call them seals, but they're actually sea lions, cousin seals. It's not a zoo though, they come and go as they please, so we never know if there'll be a few or hundreds. It changes all the time. But they're out there to the right at the far end of the pier, but not easy to see from the road. There's an interesting historical artifact just ahead on the right. It's a wooden archway with railroad tracks running through it. In the old days, when they would unload cargo from the ships, they put it on railroad cars, bring it through this arch, and put on the flatboat barges that came across San Francisco Bay to connect up to the long-distance trades. And they could raise and lower the tracks here based on the tide. We're also starting to get some views of Alcatraz Island out in the bay, the famous old prison. We'll get better views of it in a bit. But one of the things you'll notice is how very close it is to the city. It's not like way out in the ocean. It's right here. If you were a prisoner, if you could manage to get in the water, it's not that long to swim to freedom. But this water's freezing cold. About 55 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, 13 Celsius. So hypothermia would be a big issue. The water looks pretty calm, but it has very strong currents in it, and occasionally sharks. Just a moment on the right, I'm going to show you a famous bakery called Boudin. They make our sourdough bread. They've been baking it ever since San Francisco, ever since 1849. And each morning you take some of the dough aside for sourdough as a starter for the next day. They have literally kept the same starter dough alive since at least 1849. And the bakers work right in the window. Being a Sunday morning, they may or may not be at work right now. But when we get, as we go past, we'll take a look. So look to the right. Right here. Let's see if they're baking this morning. Yep, there they are, working away. Here on the right is the traditional old part of Fisherman's Wharf, Italian seafood restaurants. And now we are going to see some fishing boats. We don't have a lot of commercial fishing anymore, but there's still some. We go for Dungeness crab and king salmon. Those are the most valuable catches that fishing folks here go for. Now, having been looking to the right all this time, I'm going to have you look to the left in a moment. One of our famous types of public transit are historic streetcars. Now, I'm not talking about our famous San Francisco cable cars. We'll see those in a few minutes. But we have some electric streetcars that are historic, and they turn around right here, so maybe we'll see something. When we get the green light, I'll have you look to the left. Yep, there are 2 of them. You may have noticed, if you saw them, they didn't look the same. They had different paint schemes. Each one is representing a different transit agency in the United States. So every one of those is painted differently. Luckily not too long. On our left, these red brick buildings, when this was built 100 years ago, it was the largest fruit and vegetable cannery in the entire world. Today it's shops and restaurants. There's a famous American brand of canned fruits and vegetables called Del Monte. This is where they got their start. California has always been one of the world's biggest producers of agricultural products, especially fruits, vegetables, and nuts. So coming up on the right, we'll see some of our historic cable cars, I'm hoping. Yep, there are a couple of them there on the right. So what's different about a cable car versus a street car? The cable cars are not powered by an overhead electric line. They're pulled by an underground cable. Under the street, there's a loop of metal always moving. Not electric, just a loop of metal. And when the car wants to move forward, he reaches down, grabs the moving cable, and it pulls the car along. They were invented here in San Francisco. Built them all over the U.S. Some other countries built them. But we're then now the last place in the entire world to have this type of cable car. So by the way, we never call those trolleys. We call them cable cars. But there's often confusion about that. Now, totally different topic. We're going to make a right turn here. Just ahead of us on the corner, there's a green building. The sign says Buena Vista Cafe. Back in the 1950s, that's where Irish coffee was first introduced in America. Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey. They serve about 2,000 Irish coffees here every day. They're so famous. But take a look to the right. There are people swimming out there in that freezing cold water. This inlet is the traditional place in the city for swimming. Yep, I see them.
Should I go to the next one or
Let's
here?
go to the next one. And a nice view of Alcatraz out there. On our left is a famous old chocolate factory called Ghirardelli. They're the oldest chocolate manufacturer in the United States. They're not making chocolate here anymore. They built a new factory out in the suburbs. But this building is now has chocolate shops and various other businesses. Coming up on the right in just a moment. Here we go, take a look on the right, the Palace of Fine Arts. Today this is the favorite place in the city for wedding photos. Now what's on our left is a former United States Army base that's been converted into National Park Lab. Right here it's not very pretty, but a lot of it is beautiful. We'll see some more of it as we drive along. But look ahead of us, the Golden Gate Bridge. Looking beautiful. The Golden Gate Bridge opened in 1937. It was the longest bridge of its type in the world. That's not true anymore, but we would argue it's the most beautiful bridge in the world. I love the way the man-made beauty of the bridge and the natural beauty of the mountains and the ocean all enhance each other. So we're going to drive across it. We'll stop when we get to the other side. What color is the Golden Gate Bridge? Red. The official name of that color is International Orange. It was kind of a risk. No one had ever painted a bridge that color before, but they liked the warm tones to contrast with the cool tones of the ocean. Also, that was the color of the primer paint when they were building the bridge. They saw that it looked great, so they decided to make it permanent. I used to think that was just a legend, but it's actually true. How long does it take to paint the bridge? The old legend is it takes 7 years, and they paint it once every 7 years. So you start at one end, paint your way across, and start over. But now it's got, there's a constantly painting. It's whichever section most needs it. So how long to totally repaint it? I don't really have a good answer for that. All right, we're on the Golden Gate Bridge. To the right is San Francisco Bay, Alcatraz. To the left is the Pacific Ocean. Excellent question. If it's orange, why is it called the Golden Gate? Hardly anyone knows the answer. The waterway we're crossing right now was named the Golden Gate Strait almost 100 years before the bridge was built. It reminded someone of the harbor at Istanbul that's called the Golden Port. Except for the Gateway to America, I'll call this the Golden Gate. So it's just the bridge that crosses the Golden Gate Strait. Really quite amazing. San Francisco Bay is one of the largest harbors in the world, but the only way in or out is this 1 mile wide opening where the bridge is. Think about how much water passes through here as the tides go in and out. So lights it up here. Denise, you're coming. Denise, you're coming. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Are you there yet? 20 minutes. That'll be fine. That works.
Yeah, I'm at this point now, so yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, you're up. The views here of the city skyline and the water are so gorgeous. I also want to point out on the left a monument in honor of all the military who sailed through the Golden Gate serving the country. And there are toilet facilities here. We'll show you those.
Just made the second stop because the first stop was a pier. Now I'm at Vista Point, where it's like a view of the bridge and the city. We're on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge. And let's see if I can give you guys a look. You see the city behind. As y'all seen, I drove across the Golden Gate. And yeah, you know, came and brought these people that's from like London and Britain and all that. And they just walking around taking some photos. And we're about to head to Sausalito across. Well, we're already here, but we're going to Sausalito, and yeah, nice views, nice views.
I forgot to turn down the radio or something. Just not turn the volume. Good. There used to be artillery guns up in these mountains to protect the entrance to San Francisco Bay. In fact, as recently as the 1970s, there were nuclear missiles up on some of these hilltops. During World War II, there were minefields in the bay. There was an anti-submarine net under the bridge. So the soldiers who worked with all of that were stationed down here in these buildings on the right. But with the end of the Cold War, we don't need nearly as many military bases. So many of the bases, actually pretty much all of the bases that had been in and around San Francisco have been converted to parkland. So this is now National Park. We're really lucky that right here across from the big city, we have all this beautiful natural land in the States because it had been military. A lot of what's down there on the right, there are some newer buildings down there. They've been converted to being a luxury hotel. Still part of the national park. Hotel building, you can see how nice and green everything is. As I said, wet winters, so we're finishing up our rainy season now. Things will start drying out. A lot of our hillsides will turn brown before too long. That's why we get some nasty wildfires. Looking over to the right on the other side of the bay, Angel Island State Park is the largest island in the bay. It had military uses in the past. It also has the West Coast Immigration Station, a little bit like Ellis Island in New York. Except there was a lot of discrimination against the Chinese people who were trying to immigrate here. It was more about the U.S. trying to not let them in. But today Angel Island is a nice park. You go over there and have a picnic. Well, we now are about to leave the former military area and enter the town of Sausalito. Like so many things in California, Sausalito is a Spanish name. It means little willow trees. And there was actually a British sailor named William Richardson who jumped ship when his ship was visiting San Francisco. He became a Mexican citizen. They gave him all this land. He would sell fresh water to the various ships, the whaling ships and such that would come in. So the waterway here is called Richardson Bay. I really want to show you something Sausalito is famous for. Look to the right as you come around the curve. And look how the houses across the way are built up and down the hillsides. A lot of people say it reminds them of the coast of Italy, like the Amalfi Coast. Sausalito has always been a place that wealthy people wanted to live because the views are so incredible. But also, the weather is often better here in Sausalito than San Francisco. It turns out San Francisco gets a huge amount of fog and sea mist in the summertime. July and August are actually the worst time of year to visit San Francisco. It's usually really chilly and gray. But that fog does not come into town here. It hangs up over those hills on our left. So on a day when it's really chilly and gray in San Francisco, it can still be warm and sunny here. Down along, so the wealthy people have always been in the hills, but down along the waterfront, the town was quite different. There were saloons, taverns, where the sailors and soldiers from nearby military bases would come to drink. There were boatyards and fishing villages here. There was a railroad that came into town before Golden Gate Bridge was built. They unloaded cargo from the trains, put it on boats, and go into the city. So down here along the water, it's quite industrial. During World War II, there was a huge shipyard here. Later on, I'll show you where that was. But then after the war, it just became a sleepy little town. They kind of bypassed the town when they built the bridge. And it became just a popular place for bohemians, artists, and writers, and poets because of the beauty, and they could just sort of live a lifestyle here. And then ever since then, people have been coming here just as we are to enjoy the nice little shops and restaurants. Now, you could go climbing up into the hills if you want to get a cardio workout, but most of the things people usually check out are right here along the water. I like walking right along here just to enjoy the beautiful views. We don't have an official lunchtime built in today, but there are various places here and at the ferry building. And here on the left is one of my favorites, the Sausalito Bakery and Cafe. If you want to get something sweet or a cappuccino or something. It is 10 o'clock, so some of the stores are just now opening. Some of them don't open until 11, but yeah, well, a lot of them will be opening. But again, personally, I like just strolling around, just having a walk around and seeing the good, beautiful views. You see along here, besides some cafes, there are a couple art galleries, a number of clothing stores, and quite a few kind of souvenir-oriented shops. Now, I know it's a little early in the morning for ice cream, but hey, you're on holiday, gotta have ice cream. There are two nice places for that. One coming up here on the right, but my favorite one is here on the left. It's called Laprop's Ice Cream and Yogurt. They're originally from Hawaii, so a lot of their flavors have things like coffee and coconut, macadamia nuts and things, but a whole variety. So we're going to turn right here. We've now driven through the main area you're probably going to watch and explore. It's probably going to be about 45 minutes here. There are a few more things up ahead, but then you don't really get the views. Take a look on the left, public restrooms. There's two little brick buildings there. Directly ahead of us, there's a park overlooking the water with some benches. That's a nice place if you just want to relax and enjoy the view. And there's a really nice marina here with some both big yachts and some stuff.
Yep. What's up, y'all? I'm tuned back in downtown Sausalito. I'm probably just gonna walk up and walk back because it's not that much time that we have left. So yeah, it's a pretty nice little, cute little town. Yeah, that's the city over there, the bridge. Yes, this is what I do when I'm just waiting on the group to finish whatever they're doing. I'm just getting a nice scenery view too. Yes, can't complain. City right behind me. SF. Alright, I am tuned back in. Just dropped off the group. So their next destination, they went to the ferry building over here downtown in Barcadero. And yeah, I'm about to just take a walk and show y'all a little 1-2-1-2 of what's down here for those who haven't came to this city or those who always in the city. But me, see, I'm down here driving, but I don't get out and do too much walking. Cable car. That's the Baltimore Transit. So yeah. Come on, y'all. Get y'all popcorn. Hi. Hey. So this is one of the empanadas I got, a chicken one. It's actually good. Don't ask me what's in it. Just know it's chicken and veggies and some cheese. But it's good. As you see, I have an empty bus. The day is finally over. Yes. But I just dropped them off at their international airport. They were coming, like I said before, they were coming from UK, London, all that area. Your girl is whooped. I just took off all them luggages out of 3 luggage bays. Big to those big old luggages to the small carry-ons. So, yeah, I ain't complaining. It's what I do. It's what I do. And, hey, I take that tip. Hope y'all like this one. Y'all just stay tuned. I'm just trying to keep these going. You know, your girl is just trying to get it up. Just trying something new, you know. Show some content. Show y'all different places around the Bay Area that I have been doing, or even around California. For those who haven't been to California or even to the Bay. But, yeah. I hope y'all liking it. Hey, I appreciate y'all for watching in, tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hey, show your girl some love, you know. And until next time, peace.